So in this session, we are going to learn how to build and push Docker image to AWS ECR using Jenkins Pipeline. So as you can see, this is my article, so we are going to follow this. So first of all, as you can see here, the first step is we need to configure an EC2 instance, right? So that means we need a instance, AWS instance, right? So if I go to my instance, you can see here I have already launched one instance with the name Jenkins, right? You can see here, and the operating system is Ubuntu, right? If I go to the command prompt here, as you can see here, I have successfully connected to my terminal, and as you can see, the operating system is Ubuntu 22.04 LTS, right? That means our first step is done. Configuring EC2 instance. So we need an instance, right? Then after that, the next step is we need to install Java. So here to installing Jenkins, we need to install Java first, right? So after the successful SSH connection, firstly update the Linux machine and then install Java using below commands. So let's update our system package first. So as you know how to update, so the command is sudo apt update. So let's update first. Okay, it's done. Now the next step is we need to install Java. So let's install Java. So here I'm going to install OpenJDK 17, right? So let's install first. So yes, I'm going to install. So yeah, it's done. Now let's clear the first. Now let's check the details of about your Java version, right? If you want to check the details, then run the command java hyphen version. So you can see the details of about Java. The version is 17.0.18 and you can see the details and so on, right? Okay, that means you have successfully installed OpenJDK 17, right? Now, the next step is installing Jenkins. So let's install Jenkins using below command. So let's install Jenkins. So the first is let's run this command using curl. Now, if you want to install the latest version of Jenkins, then you can go to the official site of Jenkins and you can use these commands to install. So, if you want to install the latest version, then you can go to the official site, right? Okay, now let's update the system package. Now, let's install Jenkins. So, yes, I will install. So, it almost done. So, wait for a few seconds. So, yeah, it's done. Now let's clear the first screen first And now the next step is here, you can see here, let's enable and start our Jenkins, right? So as you know the command to enable, sudo systemctl enable Jenkins. So yeah, it's done. Now the next step is let's start our Jenkins first. Okay. Now let's check the status. Okay. As you can see, it's active running, right? That means we have successfully installed Jenkins on Ubuntu 22.04 LTS, right? Okay. Now the next step is we need to install Git. Okay. So as you know the command to install Git. So the command is sudo apt install Git. So yeah, it's done. Now, now the next step is let's access Jenkins in browser. So how to access? So first of all, we need an instance IP, right? So this is our instance IP, and then hit on browser, and the and the port number is 8080. Okay, so getting started. So first of all, we need to unlock Jenkins first. So how to unlock? So here we need to enter administrator password. So which password? So our password store is in this location. That means is in this file. So how to access? So let's copy this location and go to the server and then open this file. So I am using my favorite editor Nano. You can use your favorite editor also. Now, as you can see, this is my password, right? So I'm going to copy and paste here. Okay. Now click on continue. Now the next step is customize Jenkins. So you can see plugins extend Jenkins with additional features to support many different needs. Right. So here choose here. So I'm going to select install suggested plugins, right? Here install plugins the Jenkins community find most useful. So here I'm going to choose this install suggested plugins. So can see it's folders ready, then build timeout, and as you can see it's loading. So wait for few seconds. So as you can see, it almost done. You can see. So yeah, it's done. Now, the next step is here we need to enter our username, password, then confirm password, full name, and email address, right? So let's insert. So my username will be admin. So let's enter the password and then confirm password. Then full name, so I'm going to enter admin and then email address. Now click on save and continue. Now the next step is instance configuration, right? That means our Jenkins URL, right? So here this is our instance IP and then the port number is 8080, right? Okay. Now click on save and finish. So start using Jenkins. Jenkins is ready and your setup is complete. So now as you can see, this is our Jenkins dashboard. So you can see welcome to Jenkins and you can see this page is where your Jenkins job will be displayed, and to get started and you can set up this distributed build or start building a software project. So we have successfully installed Jenkins, right? So you can see here admin and so on the details of about our Jenkins. Okay. Now let's take the next step. So it's done. We have successfully installed Jenkins, right? And now the next step is here. We may also set up AWS credentials in Jenkins so that it facilitates the Docker push to this ECR repository, right? So here in this session, we are going to learn how to build and push Docker image to AWS ECR, right? So we need to push this Docker image to AWS ECR. So that's why using Jenkins pipeline, right? Using Jenkins. So that's why here in Jenkins we need to add our AWS credentials, right? That means here AWS credentials. Why? Because here we are going to push this image, Docker image to AWS ECR using Jenkins pipeline. So that's why we need to add these credentials in Jenkins. So how to add? So here first of all go to the manage Jenkins and go to the credentials and click on go global and here add credentials and here choose this username with password, right? And in scope, you can see log, Jenkins, nodes, items, all child items, and etc. So here we are going to use this Jenkins. So you enter your username. So here we need to enter our AWS username. So right. So here I'm going to use my AWS username. After that, password of your AWS account and then ID. So which ID? Our AWS ID. AWS is 12 digit ID, right? So as you can see here, this is my username, DevOps Shweta, right? And my account number is here, right? AWS account. So I'm going to copy this account number, that means account ID, and enter here. And next is description. So it's optional. If you want, then you can add. Otherwise, you can skip this option. Now click on create. So as you can see in global credentials, we have successfully added our credentials of AWS, right? You can see credentials that should be available irrespective of domain specification to required matching. Okay. You can see if you want to update, then you can go to the update command and you can update option and you can go to you can update this credentials. Okay. We have successfully added our credentials, AWS credentials in Jenkins. Now Now the next step is we need to install Docker. We need to install Docker here. Okay. So let's install Docker first. Using this command sudo apt install docker io. Why? Because here we are going to push this Docker image to AWS ECR. So that's why here we need to install Docker. Right. So let's install Docker using this command. So yes, I will install. So as you can see, it's done. Now let's clear the screen first. So here, after install Docker, we need to give some permissions here, right? So which permission? So the first permission is here, sudo user mode, and then the next step here, sudo chmod 666. So here we need to give these two permissions to our Docker. Okay, it's done. Right. If you want to check the status of your Docker, then you can run the command sudo systemctl status Docker. As you can see, it's active running. That means we have successfully installed. Now, after installing Docker, we need to restart our Jenkins, right? So how to restart? So as you know, the command sudo systemctl restart, and then your name that was Jenkins, right? Sudo systemctl restart Jenkins. So let's check the status of our Jenkins. As you can see, it's active running, right? Okay. Now, if I go to the Jenkins here, we need to log in our Jenkins. As you can see, sign into Jenkins. Why? Because here we have run this restart command, restart Jenkins. So that's why here we need to log in our Jenkins now. So enter username and the password, and I'm going to check it. Keep me sign in, and then sign in. Okay, so it's done. Now, now the next step is install these plugins in Jenkins. We need to install some plugins in our Jenkins, right? So which plugins? So first of all, we need to install Docker. After that, we need to install Docker Pipeline and then Amazon ECR plugin. So go to the Jenkins dashboard and go to the Manage Jenkins, and here click on these plugins and go to the available plugin and search for Docker, right? So here Docker and then Docker pipeline. So click on install. So as you can see, it's pending. So it's succeed. So wait for 2 seconds. Okay, it's done. Now the third one is Amazon ECR plugin, right? So let's install Amazon ECR plugin. So search for Amazon ECR. So as you can see here, so let's install. Okay, so it's done. Now let's check the next step. So we have successfully installed these plugins, right, in Jenkins. Now the next step is we need to create ECR repository. So first of all, go to the AWS and go to the ECR, and we need to create new repository. So as you can see, this is the Amazon Elastic Container Registry dashboard. You can see the repository. So as of now, I don't have any repository. You can see no repositories, no repository were found, right? And here you can see this is the private repository. If you want to create, then you can go to the public and also create the public repository, but as of now I don't have any repository, public as well as private. Now I'm going to create new repository. So click on create repository, and after that here choose this private or public. Right, so I'm going to choose the private. Now enter the repository name. So my repository name will be DevOps. Right, and then click on create repository. So here you can see successfully created repository with the name DevOps, right? And you can see repository name DevOps in the URI, and then created typing and the tag and the scan, and then details of about your repository. Now here you can see successfully created repository DevOps. If I click on this push command, new push command, so you can see for Linux or Mac OS, you can see here. Use this following step to authenticate and push an image to your repository for additional registry authentication method, including the Amazon ECR credential. So the first step is here you can see retrieve an authentication token and authenticate your Docker client and move to a registry and use this AWS CLI, right? If you want to log into your ACR, you can use this command also. The next is second command is build your Docker image to using following command, right? If you want to build your Docker image, you can use this command Docker build hyphen t and your repository name. Now, the third step is after the build complete, tag your image so you can push this image to this repository. So for that, the next step is Docker tag, then your repository name, then tag, and so on. And the fourth step is to push, right? Run the following command to push this image to a newly created AWS repository. So the command is docker push and the URL of your repository, then colon add your tag name latest. Right. So that's the some commands to push this image to an AWS ECR repository. So I'm going to close it. Okay. So that's our repository with the name DevOps. Now we have successfully created our repository with the name DevOps. Now the last step is creating IAM role, right? So how to create? So here you can see first of all go to the IAM role. Otherwise you can go from here also, right? But I'm going to create IAM role from here. So go to the IAM role dashboard. So this is my IAM role dashboard, and here and my roles. Now create role, click on create role and choose AWS service. Then scroll down use case. I'm going to choose ECS in use case here. After that, click on next. Now the next is we need to add permissions here, right? So we need to add Amazon ECR container. Here we need to add this permission policy, sorry, Amazon container registry here. So here search for Amazon container registry. So I'm going to search. So here Amazon Container Registry. Okay, so here we need to search Amazon EC2 Container Registry. So as you can see here, the permission. So you can see Amazon EC2 Container Registry full access, right? EC2 container here. Amazon EC2 Container Registry full access, right? So here I'm going to check it and then click on next. Then here enter your role name. So my role name will be ECR role and description. So if you want to change, you can change it. So keep as it is and click on create. So let's check for once. You can see our permission Amazon EC2 container registry full access and this is type AWS manager attach as permission policy and the tag is optional if you don't want. Then you can skip this. If you want, then you can add new tag. So I'm going to skip it and click on create role. So as you can see, it's creating. So wait for a few seconds. So as you can see, our role ECR role created, right? You can see here ECR role, AWS Services EC, right? So we have successfully created our EC2, ECR role, right? So now we need to attach this role to our instance, right? This is our instance dashboard. So how to attach? So first of all, select your instance and click on actions and go to the security and click on modify IAM role and select your role. So if you click on this drop down, then here you can see our role, ECR role, right? Then click on update IAM role. You can create your IAM role here. From here also you can see create new role, right? If you want to create, then you can create from here also. So you can see we are going to updating our IAM role. That means we are going to attach this ECR role instance, right? So as you can see, we are successfully attached this ECR role instance, right? Okay. So now it's done. Now the next step is, and we are going to creating our Jenkins job. So how to create? So first of all, go to your Jenkins, go to the dashboard, and now click on new item. Now enter your item name. So my name will be ECR and select this, right? So here we are going to use this pipeline, right? Here we are going to build and push our Docker image to AWS ECR using Jenkins pipeline. So that's why here I'm going to select this pipeline and click on OK. Okay. So now you can see first of all descriptions. If you want to add any description, then you can add this, but I'm going to keep as it is. After that, click on GitHub project. Okay, here I'm going to check it GitHub project. Why? Here we need to enter GitHub project URL. So here, why we choose this GitHub project? Because here we are going to push this Docker image to AWS ECR using Jenkins pipeline. So where is our Docker image? So that's why we need to create the GitHub project first. So as you can see here, I have already created my GitHub project here. You can see in my GitHub project, my project name is ECR Jenkins, and in my this project, first of all Docker file, then package.json file, and then server.js file. So here we are going to push this Docker image to AWS ECR. So that's why we need a Docker image. So this is my Docker file, right? And the port number is 8080. And the next is package.json. So this is my package.json file, right? And then last is server.js file. So our image is in this server.js file. So you can see our image. So it will print hello world. So that's our image, right? So we need an image to push AWS ECR. We need a Docker image. So that's why we need to copy this URL, our GitHub project URL, to push this Docker image. So that's why here I'm going to copy this HTTPS and paste in this project URL, GitHub project URL, right? Now keep as it is. Let's scroll down, and here in pipeline, select this pipeline script, and here enter your script. So here is my pipeline script. So I'm going to copy it first, and let's understand one by one. Okay, now let's paste here. Okay, so now let's check first. So first of all here, pipeline, then agent, any, and environment. Here we need to set this environment here. So first of all here we need to set AWS account ID, right? Here we need to enter our AWS ID, account ID. So let's enter our account ID here first. So I'm going to copy my AWS ID and let's enter here. After that, it will ask AWS default region. So my region is AP-South-1. Then it will ask our image repo name, right? That means it will ask our ECR container registry name. So our ECR container registry name is DevOps, right? So I'm going to enter here. Now after that, image tag. So my image tag will be latest. And then after that, it will ask our repository URL. Which repository URL? Our ECR container repository URL. That means Amazon Elastic Container Registry URL. So this is our URL. So let's enter here repository URL. Okay. Now you can see that in stage, first of all, we're going to log into our AWS ECR, right? So we have added our credentials in environment. So first of all, here we are going to log into AWS ECR, right? This is our default region, then username and password that we have set, right? As you can see here. Okay. Now the next step is cloning to Git, right? We are going to cloning this our GitHub project, right? After that, we are going to building our image. So the next step is in this stage we are going to building our image, right? You can see first of all our repo name and then image tag. That means our repo name is DevOps colon and the tag is latest. Now the next stage is push to ECR. So now we are going to push. Now the next and final step is we are going to push this Docker image to our AWS ECR. So you can see the script sh docker tag, then image repo name, then image tag, and then repository URL, and after that our image tag. Right. So that's the pipeline. Now click on apply. So now it's done. Now let's check. So go to the dashboard and now click on build. So as you can see, it's building. You can see here. As you can see here, fail. Why? Because if you want to check the reason, then you can go to the log files and you can see here. Here you can see AWS ECR here. AWS not found. Why? Because we don't have AWS, right? So first of all, we need to install AWS. So how to install? So you can see the official site of AWS. You can go to this official site of AWS and you can install the AWS from here. So let's install the AWS first. So let's install. So you can see the operating system our in Linux, right? So that's why I'm going to choose Linux. Then scroll down. So first of all, let's run this curl command. So I'm going to copy this and paste here. So let's download this zip file using curl command. Okay. Now first of all we need to install unzip, right? So run the command sudo apt install unzip. Okay, it's done. Now let's unzip our AWS zip file. So let's copy this and paste here. Now after that, let's install AWS using this command. Okay, we have successfully unzip our file. Let's clear the screen first and then install AWS. So it's done. Now if you want to check the version, then you can run the AWS -version command. So you can see the details of about our AWS. Okay, now we have successfully installed AWS on our instance. Now let's build our pipeline, right? So let's build our pipeline. So first of all, go to the dashboard and now go to the ECR and then build now. Now as you can see, it's building for second time. You can see, right? So wait for a few seconds. Is in progress, right? So now as you can see, it's almost done, right? So wait for few seconds. Okay, so as you can see our pipeline success console output. So let's check the console output. So if I go to the console output here, so you can see here. So first of all, you can see we are going to log into AWS ECR, right? Login succeed. After that, here cloning to Git repository, right? So we have successfully cloned our repository, and then after that we have successfully built our Docker image, and then we have successfully pushed this Docker image to AWS ECR. Now you can see finish, and the job is success. So let's go to the ECR, that means Elastic Container Repository Registry, and let's check. So if I go to my repository, and here let's check the image. You can see image 1, and the tag is latest, and the image type artifact type image, and put push timing. You can see the push timing, and the size is 357.98 MB, then image URI, and so on. That means we have successfully pushed this image to AWS ECR, right? So it's done. So here in this session we have learned how to build and push Docker image to AWS ECR using Jenkins Pipeline. So thank you for watching.